Hey guys, and welcome back to this new video. Today I will talk about your photos. A few weeks ago I asked you if you want to send me your best photos, and I will talk about them in a little YouTube series and give some feedback, and I hope to find some really nice and new talents. And this video is the first episode, and I hope it's not the last one. I have to say that I was not able to present all the photos you sent me in this first episode. I'm going to present probably 5 or 6 photos now, but I think over 15 people sent me the photos, so if your photo is not in this episode, please understand it, and I hope it can be in the next episode. So I would say I don't want to talk too much now in the beginning. We just start with the first photo. So the first photo is from Levis. I have no idea if I pronounced the name correctly, I'm sorry if not. And he's writing, "Hey Max, this shot was taken at my local nature reserve. I have the Canon EOS 2000D and the Sigma 150 to 600mm lens." And you can see the EXIF up here, so if you're interested in it. And in the photo you can see a great heron, and all in all that's a really nice photo. So I really like the position that the great heron has, and I also like the green and a bit blurry background, but you can even see some structure in the background, so it's not that blurry. And I think in this photo that's quite really good because you can have a look at the habitat of this bird a bit better than if it would be completely blurry. Something I have to say is that this little stick behind the great heron that's looks like that is coming out of his butt. So probably, I'm not sure if that was possible, but if it was possible, I would probably move a bit, probably 1 meter to the side, so that this stick is not coming out of the body of the great heron. And also on the head, it's a bit burned out, and I'm not sure. I guess you took this photo at midday, so the sun was shining quite really hard, and that's quite really hard to solve this problem if you're shooting at the middle of the day and the sun is burning from the sky. Probably you can try in your editing software to pull down the highlights a bit, and then probably the head is not that burned out. And if not, probably you should rather underexpose a bit when you're photographing and the sun is shining really hard, because it's easier to rescue the dark areas in the photo than the really bright areas. But all in all, that's a really nice photo, and of course it's really sharp, and great job. The next photo is from Michael, and I know him already from Instagram, and if you haven't checked him out, please do so, because he has incredible photos on his Instagram channel. And he sent me a photo as well from a kingfisher, and he wrote a bit longer story, but I think that this story is really interesting and touching, so I just want to read it. So he's writing, "My name is Michael, and since a motorbike accident almost 14 years ago, I sit in a wheelchair. I photograph wildlife and birds since 2.5 years now. A dream from the beginning was to photograph the common kingfisher. I tried that in our local park, but I was not really happy with the results. I made a friend via Instagram, and one day he told me about his kingfisher project. Basically, he has a camouflage tent on a river for about 2 months. No humans around, and after a while the kingfisher there became used to the tent. After this 2 months with the tent, the kingfishers came at a distance of 2.5 meters, which was the point where he put a branch in the river for the birds to land on. I was pretty excited, but there was a problem. The riverbed with the tent was around 1.5 meters deeper than the surrounding area. So in order to get me inside the tent, he had to carry me with my wheelchair 1.5 meters down off-road and the tent end back up. When he got me into the tent, I was more than happy and thankful. It took exactly 5 minutes until the first flying jam landed on the wooden stick. I was blown away. After 3,000 pictures and many great sightings, he carried me back the 1.5 meter high sand wall. The next day my friend had a massive muscle pain and back pain, but he's still my friend. And yeah, wow, what should I say? This story is just really touching, and it's incredible to hear that you're going out even if you're sitting in a wheelchair and you keep going, and that's really motivating, and you have all of my respect. But now we want to talk about the photo you took, and yeah, what should I say? This is just an incredible photo. I mean, the kingfisher is sitting on a really nice perch and the background is just beautiful. It's really blurry, and I guess it was at sunset or sunrise, and the colors are really, really warm, and I really like this photo. And I think I cannot say something against it, so I think I cannot give you any tips because this is really perfect. And also the kingfisher's eyes is really sharp, and I'm a bit blown away, to be honest. And you wrote that you took the photo with a Nikon Z6 and the Nikon 500mm f5.6. So of course this is a really, really good camera and a really good lens. But even though that's an amazing photo. So thank you so much for sending it in. And if you haven't checked his Instagram channel out, it's down in the description below. And of course the Instagram channels from the other people who sent me the photos is down in the description as well. The next photo is from Jacob Jensen Rebuild. Sorry again if I pronounce your name not correct. And he's writing, I'm a 15 years old photographer from Denmark. I enjoy photographing wildlife, but specifically birds. The photo was taken on the coast of Zealand in Denmark. We were originally on Zealand to see a hawk owl that had been spotted in the area recently. When we got there, the hawk owl just sat in a tree doing nothing. Whilst we were stood there talking to some other photographers, I overheard someone talking about purple sandpipers living by a foot of a bridge. The weather was overcast and very cold, so we decided to drive to the bridge the woman had talked about. When we got there, we instantly spotted the small sandpipers by some rocks. We started our approach at when we were about 50 meters away from them. But we soon realized that the sandpipers were not shy. We ended up sitting on the rocks about 3 meters away from them without them carrying. And this is again a really nice story. But let's talk about the photo. And all in all, it's again a really, really good photo. So you make it really hard for me to say something critical. I really like how there are unsharp rocks around the bird. So if you have the first look at this photo, your view is going directly to the bird, and that's really nice. Something I would probably do is that I would go a bit more down, because it looks like that you're photographing a bit from up to down, if you know what I mean. And I'm not sure if you were go down a bit more, if then the bird was behind a stone. But I think a few centimeters more down would be better, and probably you would feel a bit more closer to the bird when you have a look at a photo. And another thing is that I would probably brighten the bird a bit up, because this photo is a quite dark photo, and that's obvious because of the gray stones. But probably if you're using Lightroom or Luminar or something else, does not matter, probably you can just make a little mask on the bird and put up the shadows a bit and the highlights a bit, so that the bird is popping out a bit more. But all in all, a really, really great photo again. And I would say, let's go on with the next photo. The next photo is from Janice Bomguard. I don't know again if this name is pronounced correctly. And he writes, I'm 70 years old and started wildlife photography about 2.5 years ago. Now I have been using the Canon EOS 80D with the Sigma 150 to 600mm lens for about a year. Since I found a place near me where I always come across many grey and great egrets, I have tried to take the chance in the last few weeks and take photos that are a bit more special. I was especially happy about the backlight photos, as I had been planning to take them for a while anyway. This photo is a photo where you probably have a quick look and you think, what's that? It's just a black blurry photo. But then if you have a closer look, you realize that there's a great heron. And this is an amazing photo again, because I know that it's not easy to photograph the birds in backlight, especially it's hard to focus. And I really like how the sun is like going around the head of the great heron, and how the head is like starting to glow, and that makes it really special. Probably I had panned the camera a bit more to the right, but it's just my personal opinion, because I like it more if there's a bit more space in the direction the great heron is looking. Of course there's already quite a lot of space, but in my opinion it would look a bit better if there is even more space and the great heron is more in the corner or on the left edge. And I don't know, but probably it would also look really good if the great heron is not in front of the dark trees. It would probably also look really good if the head of the great heron is in front of the yellow sky, because then the head would pop out a bit more. But I'm not sure, probably you also tried it, but you like this photo more, I don't know. But it's really nice photo, and great job again. The last photo we want to talk about today is from Connor Hill, and he's writing, "Hello, my name is Connor Hill. I took my first photographs of wildlife a few days ago. I have never gotten around to wildlife photography, even in my almost 2 years of photography now. I only just now got a telephoto lens that I was happy with using, trying to take photographs of different wildlife. This bird is a brown treasure. This is my favorite shot taken from the day I described before. It was taken in my front yard at sunset. I really enjoyed the lighting, and I think the bird looked excellent. I will admit I used the masking layer in Adobe Lightroom to brighten the bird just slightly to make it pop from the leaves and branches. P.S. I would like to note that I'm not particularly skilled with color photography, as I usually shot in black and white. But now let's have a look at the photo. I think for one of your first shots from wildlife, and also from shots with color, this is an amazing shot. So I can just dream that this is one of my first shots, because this is really good. And just say something to the colors at first. I really like them. I really like the green of the trees and also the color of the bird, so good job. But now let's talk about the whole photo. It's always a bit difficult for me, because I don't really know what I should think about photos from birds sitting in a tree and you photograph from straight down to up. I did this in the past a lot of times, and I know sometimes you just have no other opportunity, because the bird is just sitting in a tree and it's not coming down, and that can be really frustrating. But the problem is that if you're photographing an animal from straight down to up or from up to down, it always looks not that good. You just have not a feeling that you're really close to the animal than if you would photograph on eye level. But I guess you had not the opportunity to photograph this bird on eye level, and because of this you cannot change it obviously. what you can try is to go a bit more back, so that the angle is not that like steep, and it's a bit more like that, if you know what I mean. But that can be really hard as well, because if you're photographing the bird in a tree and then there are too many leaves in front, if you go back, and I know the problem. But if you have the opportunity, I would try this the next time. But all in all, the sharpness is there, so the bird is really, really sharp, and I really like that the background is even quite blurry, because this is not like obvious when you photograph something in a tree, because then it can happen that the leaves in the background are really close to the subject you're photographing, and then they are obviously not blurry. But all in all, that's a really nice photo, and especially you wrote that you took it with a 200mm lens, and this is really good, because I know how close you have to go to a bird if you only have 200mm. So great job again. And that was it for now. I hope you enjoyed the first episode of this little photo feedback series, and please give me some feedback. So I gave feedback to your photos, and now it's time for you to give some feedback, because I don't know, I have the feeling that the stories you wrote were quite really long, and that's definitely okay, because I love to like read your stories behind the photos, and then you just have a better idea how this photo was taken. But I'm not sure if these stories were too long for this video and if you're bored of them. So please let me know if you have some improvements I can take the next time, because if you send me more photos, or you don't have to, because I have lots of them right now, and I have to give feedback to them at first. But of course you're free to send me your photos just to this email address here, and please write your exifs and a little story. It don't have to be that long than the stories today, but just a few sentences how you took this photo. And then again, thanks to everyone who sent me the photos from this episode. You find all the Instagram profiles in the video description, of course only when the people to send them to me. And now I can just say thanks for watching, have a great week, see you out there, bye.